Welcome to Superstitions and Traditions, our silly little podcast about all of history shenanigans. I'm Kristen.
I'm Trish.
I'm Clarissa.
And today is Am I the Asshole Historical Edition.
It's my favorite. I love it.
I love it. I like point of view too.
Point of view is good.
I don't know. I just like to pretend I'm other people, I guess. Today's Am I the Asshole is Grandma Gatewood. That's who we're going to talk about today.
I love her.
She's a feisty little thing.
Oh, she is. She's a feisty woman.
All right. You ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
You ready?
I'm ready.
She would like to know, am I the asshole for telling my adult children I was going for a walk, but not returning for 146 days?
We've all been there. I think we can all smile and go,
Not yet.
Not yet.
There's always a chance.
I feel like it could happen at any moment for me.
Felt.
I was accustomed to large families as one of 15 children. We didn't get a whole lot of individual attention. Though I had only an 8th grade education, I was well versed in herbal medicine, most of which I taught myself.
is that trial and error?
That might be why Mom and Dad had to have so many children.
Whoops. Don't eat that one.
Oh, shoot. Now we gotta replace it.
Okay.
I also enjoyed reading the encyclopedia and writing poetry. At 19 years old, on May 5th...
Oh, my mom and daddy.
I know
Your grandmas and grandpas.
On May 5th, 1907, I married a college graduate.
Ooh.
Woo! He was a school teacher, but we decided to go into tobacco farming. Together, we had 11 children. He was admired within our community, but at home I had no admiration for his violent tendencies and belittling of me. He had a habit of beating me. Not long after our 9th child was born, in 1924, he became financially obligated to another family. During an argument, he killed a man.
Oh.
He was sentenced to prison, but because he was the provider to me and our 9 children, and someone had to provide for the family of the man he killed,
Well, obviously.
he never served time. He was ordered to pay the widow, which he did. So that's how he became financially obligated to another family. He killed the breadwinner.
Is this one of those, Phil, it could have been worse, but it really couldn't? I mean,
Right.
right?
I mean, I guess dude didn't go to jail, yay, but...
Yeah, but he could have, had another family.
Right.
But I'm not sure which of those. Which, okay, keep going.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had a habit of running into the woods after he beat me. Several times I barely survived. In 1939, he beat me nearly to death, and then arranged for me to be arrested. It was the last time. My teeth were broken, my ribs were broken when I was taken in. The town mayor helped me escape the relationship and find a job to support myself. I filed for divorce, and because of the abuse, it was granted, and I was given custody of the 3 children still living at home. He was ordered to pay me a monthly amount to aid in the support. After my kids were grown, in the early 1950s, I found a National Geographic magazine. Skimming through it, I first learned of the Appalachian Trail. I was enthralled. The pictures and descriptions, I had to see it for myself. And in July of 1954, at 66 years old, I started down the trail in Maine. It was a disaster. I ran out of food, I got lost, I broke my glasses, but thankfully I was discovered by rangers. I told no one of my failure. The next year, at 67, I told my children I was going for a walk. I started in Georgia and made my way down the entire trail. For the record, it was not as easy as the National Geographic made it seem. But I did it. In 1957, I did it again. And in 1959, at age 71, I hiked the Oregon Trail by myself.
Wow.
In 1964, at 76, I hiked the Appalachian for the third time, becoming the first person to complete it 3 times.
It's one of those things that this could happen. Like someday you may just get a text from me that says,
Going on a walk. I'm going for my brisk walk. That's what it usually is. I need a brisk walk.
I need a brisk walk. And then I could be gone for months while I go tackle some trail. But until you have even hiked, and I have hiked part of it, so I know the challenges. I mean, it's a tough trail. And for someone, I'm 63, but I'm thinking, 67, 71, you're just going to stroll 76 and hike the Appalachian Trail.
But 146 days!
What she did, what this amazing, incredible woman did for female hikers, first of all, I mean, that's amazing, because prior to this, there were only I think 15% of the hikers that hiked the AT Trail were female. And for most of us, who are hikers, or any of you that have hiked or know what it's like, you have the Pacific Crest Trail, which is on the other side of the United States that you can go, and the Appalachian Trail, which, most people, you plan. I mean, you have equipment, you gear up, you don't have your kid tennis shoes on, you don't have all those things. This is and it's not easy, and it's a journey that no one takes lightly. So the fact that
apparently the National Geographic in 1959 took it fairly lightly.
Yes.
I read quotes where she said that it described it as being not strenuous walking, and there would be this, and there would be that, and there would be places for shelter. So she took nothing. Like, she was going to live off the land. It was going to be easy.
Oh, gosh,
I know.
that's rough.
It was. So, she goes off with her homemade denim bag, which was made, obviously from denim, and it's kind of over her little shoulder, with a blanket, a shower curtain, a cup, a canteen, and a bottle for water, just a small pot, a spoon, and her Swiss Army knife. Don't go anywhere without your Swiss Army knife. Right. I have mine that I can hang on my carabiner that you got me for Christmas that I love. Your first aid kit, some pens, a flashlight, a little piece of rope, a raincoat, and a change of clothes. Okay? And off you go in her trusty kid sneakers. I
love that it was in kids.
I do love that, because so here she starts off on this trail, right? So the first time is a disaster. The first time she goes out, she tries to. So the mountain at the end of Maine is the highest peak in Maine. So she starts her first time at Mount Katahdin
in
Maine, which is close to where she lives. But just making it up this mountain by yourself is an enormous feat. So she doesn't make it up. She falls. She has all of that mishap. And instead of, coming back and telling everybody kind of what's happened, she just decides that, I'm going to give it a year. I'm going to be ready, and I'm going to try it again next year. So she flies down.
Her walk involved walking onto an airplane.
Let's head on down to Georgia, and then let's start hiking. Well, when you see an old lady, I can say that is 63 years old, and that's what they started worrying about, this old lady that was hiking the AT Trail. And they're like, hey, there's this woman, she's hiking, she's by herself.
And reporters started following her story.
Which is how her family found out. Like, look, Grandma's on the trail.
Grandma forgot to tell us she was where her walk was going.
I know it. So, it's just, I'm trying to find her quote. She said, I thought it would be a nice lark, but it wasn't. There were terrible blowdowns, burn-over areas that were never remarked, gravel and sand wash out, weeds and brush to your neck, and most of the shelters were burned down, or so filthy I chose to sleep out of doors. This is no trail. This is a nightmare. I would have never started this trip if I had known how tough it was, but I couldn't, and I wouldn't quit.
Good for her.
You think about, 67 years old, and with that, and then all of these news organizations, they start picking up, and then the people are following her.
She wasn't an experienced hiker.
No. To me, it was just amazing. So here's all these the public that's following her, and she gets, trail magic starts to appear. So people begin to embrace her. So as you hike the trail, as you're going through, if you're a through hiker on the AT Trail, there's different places where you can get off around towns or around communities and do different things. Well, trail fairies or trail magic were people that were following her in the newspaper, and they would leave stuff for her. And, so that helped her, but still not enough that was everything put her through. But everybody became so impressed with the fact that Grandma, and I will just call her Grandma because I feel like she's my grandma, that she was hiking this trail. So they would help her and they would leave different types of food. And I love that she took Maini sausage. I mean, that was one of the foods that she took to eat and one of the foods that she wanted to eat on the trail. So people would leave her different things. And sometimes she would sleep on porches. She would sleep in bags of leaves. And it would even got so cold because, you're hiking. It's cold up in the mountains. She would heat rocks, find a way to heat rocks, and then to sleep on the rocks to stay warm. I mean, it is not an easy feat. I mean, there's part of me that thinks, oh, I think I will do a through hike on the AT Trail. And I'm thinking, oh, no. I am not ready. Even with abundance of trail magic, I am not ready. But, I mean, it's just, to me, it's one of the most amazing tales of triumph because you look at what her life was like before and for her to just go, oh no, I'm not quit and I'm not going to be over. And then to continue after she finished it and she made it, I can just see her face when she gets to the base of the mountain, and that's her very last. She didn't stop at the base of the mountain when she finished the trail. She hiked the mountain, so she finished it all the way up to the summit. And when she got to the top of the summit,
I love this part.
Okay, she got to the top of the summit. She sang "America the Beautiful."
Sang the first verse of America, and then there was like a sign, a thing you could sign.
Sign that says, you completed the trail.
I love that she's saying the first verse of America the Beautiful at the top of the mountain.
I just think and then, like, there were Boy Scouts troops that they interviewed that were like, oh no, we couldn't keep up with her. I mean, so it sounds like 146 days. Well, that's a long time to hike, but still.
It's 2,000 some odd miles.
Yes. I mean, that's...
First, she decides to tackle this trail and she starts at whatever the mountain we can't say.
Right.
In Maine.
Katata.
Where she's from. And then when she decides, I am going to do this, I ain't starting there. I'm going to go for a nice brisk walk. Through the airport, onto a plane.
Fly myself on down to Georgia. And I loved it. After she did it once, she's like, I think I'll go back next year. Most people, after they complete it through of the AT, they don't think, I want to do that again next year.
Right. It's a badge of honor, kind of, to have hiked the whole Appalachian. I mean, and it's not something a lot of people do multiple times.
No, it is something I really want to do in my lifetime, and I haven't, but it's one of those things that's on my bucket list. And so when I think, oh, gosh, I'm getting too old for that, though, I think, oh, no, Grandma Gatewood,
right.
you keep hiking. And then in 59, she goes to the Oregon Trail, another 2,000 miles, does a solo hike there from Missouri to Oregon. I mean,
I wonder if she got dysentery. I think you're supposed to on the Oregon Trail.
I think everybody does, if I remember that.
If I remember that from my 90s gaming.
Everybody got it. And then she has a whole hunk of that trail that's named after her. I mean, wait, here's another quote from her when they talked about, when they talk about her, and they said that the decision for her to write this to hike the trail was rather simple. She ignored any barriers and anyone who told her she wouldn't be able to do it. When a reporter asked her why she wanted to hike it, she said, because I wanted to. And there's another quote that says, well, if a man could do it, I can do the same thing. I mean, so this is she was tough.
Yeah.
And I think what she has done for women that hike and all of those things, and I mean, she's just, to me, she's not an asshole. She is one of the greatest heroes to ever step foot. I mean, just that, hey.
See, I would love to hike the Appalachian. Just because I am fascinated by the folklore of it. Like, there is lots of things that happen on that trail that don't happen in real life.
We could do a whole podcast on just the different magic and folklore and little people and all that. Well, then, she turns 80, and most of us slow down at 80. So she's in her 80s, spending 10 or more hours a day clearing and marking a 30-mile hiking trail through Ohio, her hometown.
Wasn't enough to hike trails. She had to make her own before she left this world.
And then it died at 85 from a heart attack. I just hope, it was one of those where you just, like, you're sitting there on a rock,
and just fall over.
Just fall over. And her, I love what her grave marker says. It's just sweet. Emma R. Gatewood, Grandma. Just that. So, I love her.
I know. I'm sad that it doesn't say anything about,
First female to
right.
to do a through hike of the Appalachian Trail.
Solo.
I know. So, I'm just saying, may she continue to be an inspiration to everyone.
That's right.
Yeah.
And for those of you that aren't hikers, get out there and hike. I mean,
she had the benefits. I feel like I would have the same benefit. I know what plants you can eat. I know what they're going to do for you. Yes. I mean, because she had that herbology studied.
Right.
Just like mine was self-taught. I mean, I have a certification from an online thing I took, but
still, you know a lot about all that.
But still, I mean, she did not pack food and canned goods. No. And she was going to live off the land. She knew what she could and couldn't eat. She knew what was going to give her energy. She knew what was going to help her sleep.
You can have little care packages dropped in for you now. Yeah. You map off your trail hike and how far you're going to go. You get a care package delivered. There's a whole this series to it now, which
they did that for her. Once they realized she was there.
The trail magic, they would drop it. Yes, but you can go in and have it all planned out for you.
I wonder if
it's
that was something that was done before her, or if she kind of inspired the
I don't know. I think
trail magic.
I think a lot of other hikers. I think she was the first one to receive as much trail magic as that, because the community just embraced her. I mean, you especially think about it for a woman back in that time. I mean, they had think she's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you have the fact she's female.
And not like robust health.
Right.
At the age you should be.
I mean, even
hiking.
Yes, if she's in her 30s, maybe, but she's in her 60s and she's going to go hike the trail with nothing. People are just like, we got to help her out.
we got to keep this little lady alive.
And there were women everywhere going, I wish I could just say goodbye to my family for a day and go for a 3-month hike. I mean, it's just, I think she's amazing.
I do too.
Yeah, for sure.
I do too. But that's my favorite part. My favorite part of the whole story was that she went in. She just went in.
I'm just going to do it.
Didn't take food. She's going to live off the land.
And I love that she took the plastic shower curtain.
I know.
And
a moisture barrier for when she was going to sleep outside.
Or when she thought she might shower. Because in the National Geographic, it had nice places. She's like, I didn't need that. No place.
Like, to me, that makes sense, because you would take a tarp or something if you're camping.
Right, that's true.
To protect you from the dew if you're sleeping outside. I love to sleep outside. Now, I sleep outside at my own house.
When I did the Boundary Waters, I don't know are you familiar with the Boundary Waters?
Just because of you.
So I did that when I was in my 50s, and I mean, there you have to portage your canoe. So you portage your canoe up and down all these hills, and you go from one place, and you paddle across to the next place, and you carry in all of your food, and so you have I carried a 90-pound pack. You have that, and you're taking in all that, and there was a whole process to that too. So if you have a chance, hike the trail, do the Boundary Waters, do those things that are on your bucket list, all those things that you say I can't do. Do it for Grandma. Do it for yourself. Just say.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining. Let us know your thoughts. Do you want to join us when we hike the Appalachian Trail and podcast from there? Because apparently she's not going, so we'll need a replacement.
She's going.
She is.
I'll be there.
She'll be there. We can crate it if we have to.
I'm
sure there's like a little doggy daycare somewhere we could leave
We'll need some trail magic around. Little daycare centers.
Little kid shuttles or something. Yeah. All right. Well, let us know your thoughts. Subscribe, comment, like, do all of those things because they make us happy, and tell your friends about us. And we are up to 3,200 some odd subscribers.
Guys, thank you guys so much. That just makes me smile. Thank you.
Me too.
Wow.
I know. All right, thanks, guys.
Remember,
have a good day.
Be kind.
And please, we need kindness right now more than ever.
Yes.
More
especially to old ladies on the AT Trail.
That's right. Or the Oregon Trail.
Or, yes, any
she did
trail.
that too.
You see
I
an
love
old
how
lady.
she had to mix it up some.
Yes.